Hey guys, so this is the second video I'm going to make about why it's important for us to face the failure and how we can overcome it, and why all the people, regardless how successful they are, so they all have one common thing in addressing their shortcomings. Exactly. So there are things that along the way we believe we are so good at, right? But at the same time, while we act on it, so all the whether it's a dream or whatever the plan, the ideas, so however it seems, so we still have some level of this it's a blind spot. Yeah, so we don't it takes over long period for us truly accommodate that's kind of like a clarity or kind of approach that we have to introduce into us to build a better characteristics in addressing all the unconsciousness. Yes, exactly. So that's required plenty of failure. So that's what I have seen myself including. So the biggest failure I had was like what, 2.79 million US dollars. So imagine that almost took my 4 to 5 years of my development. So business. So it is what it is. So you have to go through this failure, and during that phases you also help yourself create the characteristics that you needed, as well as it brings you connect you into yourself, the people, because during the failure you will see who is the true people, because it's like this. So the men, they make mistakes when they have money, but on the other flip side, women, they make mistakes when they don't have money. So imagine, so it's a it's like a contrast to, it's an exact opposite to how we behave and they react. So it takes plenty of courage for us to go out, to rebuild, to restructure in understanding our plan or idea or ourselves, to discover once again. But that will allow us to process beyond this emotional needs or social needs, or whatever, however we have been over long period, we believe that so obviously I solidly believe if something that comes into our thought we does have, but it takes time. So all this, what we need to understand is it's not something wrong with the plan or the idea or the or there are times I believe, am I crazy guys or something like that, because it is what it is. So that's what I constantly overcome the all the ineligibilities that I had before my time. And I ended up like micromanaging people. I ended up like believing into myself too much, and that create even further stressing myself. And it takes plenty of mistakes. I have to make plenty of mistakes in order for me to go out, understand myself, and fix myself. So that's what it's not something like you can go out and you express something to somebody and they able to understand you or come back to you and fix you. It's not something like that. It's like so even though people understand you, still they have different world, they have different experience. So whatever the age, whatever the gender base, whatever the cultural differences, whatever the even though you can still comprehend a little bit here and there, but that's not going to truly discover your true self. What going to help you is while you writing, that will give you, yeah, exactly, while you writing or recording your thoughts and voices, and you listen to this again and again and again over a long period, as well as you read it, whatever you have, write it down. So all that going to make you create this exact structure, because that's what it takes. So just like how if a building has to stand on its own, so they have different foundations requirement, right? So it's the same way. So you have to address your it could be nutritional deficiency, or you need to understand this epigenetic or genomics, where you have to address all your gene related inability, or there is a disconnections between, it could be, that's what I'm trying to help everyone understand. That the problem here is not the thoughts, the problem here is not the failure, the problem is the unaddressed something that we haven't able to discover. So for that, you need the right people. So during these failure stages, there are people who going to leave you. So the people who truly sees your value, who truly believes in you, that sees the future with you, they will stay with you regardless who they are, how they could be the team member, partners and life partners. And so whoever it is, if they stay with you, so however they treat you, whether they yelling at you or they are whatever it is, but if they stay with you, that's the characteristic, that's the woman. You have to make your move. Obviously they're going to get some disturbance, because they know you, and because they have been travel with you for a long time. It could be your mother, your wife, your sisters, your whoever it is, or daughters. So whatever it is, so all you have to do is pay attention and grab those, and restructure it, and understand the necessity behind your approach, behind yourself, your chemistry, your all your functionality. So that has to be addressed before you expect that, like okay, everybody has to seize what I'm seeing. I'm not trying to create you have to let go all the egos and all the this is beyond, this is that's why it matters. The failure is what going to help us understand all the so that will give us a directions that like never no other. It's impossible, because what we sometimes we ourselves cannot express, right? So imagine, so that's another bottleneck. If we don't when our body itself don't function well, if we failure to address, so that's what I believe. You have to figure it out, whether you need the minerals or vitamins or herbals or this amino acids. So every single elements going to give you some level of direction, some level of confidence, some level of addressing this. It could be dependencies, or deficiencies, because it takes over long period, right? So for example, there is a lot of my shortcomings. I have took like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So I still believe. So how? What is the differences and how I can overcome it? The person that I know like 5-10 years back and today is completely different. So I was in one stage like 124 kilograms, and there are times that I was sick badly, and in one morning my wife took me into the car and she drive me to the hospital, and early 4 o'clock, something like that, and they put me in emergency ward and they fixed me right away. So imagine, so it is what it takes. So I have failed a big time, so in 2 times. So all these helped me to create such a sincerity in addressing my idea, my thoughts, my plan, and then over long period, what I did was I understand this human complication. So even though we're trying to be the best, we take food, eat the right food, and take supplements and get sleep, and we have loved one, all the things, and we skilled enough, we have experiences, we have money, but even though we still have some lacking here and there, so that has to be addressed. Unless it's hard for us to go over and fix it and overcome it, because here's the thing, there are that like sometimes that there is food that some food that help us to overcome, but there are times that we believe this food going to help us understand or going to support our nature, but over long period, if we are not writing it down, whatever the schedule or the habits or the food we take or the supplementations, and so everything, so if we writing it down and we see over long period how we behave in as a person, so how much we happy, how much we process all the challenges, and without producing this oxidative stress. So that's important. So even though we are very happy about all the accomplishments, and we have to celebrate that. So imagine, so that matters. So there are so many little things that we can bring it out throughout our writing, and by reading and by recording our voices, our thoughts, our and listening to that again and again and again, and reading that again and again and again. So all that, just like how sometimes on our bad days that bring us down, right? So I don't think motivation going to help. I don't believe in that, reading word, but words have it characteristics, and it can bring us into some level. I'm not saying there is no approach. What I'm saying is, if you overcome your ineligibility in addressing all the structure throughout this kind of discovery, it will allow you to create a system rather than you trusting yourself or you trusting people, because people is a people. Regardless how much train you give them, how much like supplementation, sleeps and food you give them, how much love you give them, people is people. So they will be good on their own, or they will be very bad the time they get hurt. Sometimes it's hard for you to discover. It's not like everybody wants to make mistakes or what. It is what it is. So that's what make us human, right? So we need to express, there are times we completely understand about our needs, but there are times that we completely confused and we need more time to discover. So that's why I believe we need a systematic approach. Even if once we have the systematic approach, still you need the system to run the system itself. So I have read a book called something like what, E-Myth, something like that. So, and I saw the author, how he have explained the process of why you have to have such a way approach. And while I discover my failure, I understand that that's what I completely figure it out, because I ended up trusting me too much, or trusting my team member too much, or trusting my the people like partners and the suppliers. Obviously everybody you need support, but at the same time if you believe into such thing, you never understand the process, because what it matters is truly addressing the error in the process. Because once it understandable, everybody going to agree with you, everybody wants to do business with you, everybody understand that you have what it takes. So because once everybody understand, what else going to stop them? They able to see that, okay, this guy is good here and here and there, and he need help here and there, and I can go out and make him better person. So imagine, so that's what people wants to see. They wants to see a trusting process, and that has to be created throughout this kind of systematic approach, which again not allow people to run this system. And this has to be run by the technology. It could be automations, it could be workflow, but again, it is feasible, it's possible in today's world. So that's what I believe that in today's world people has to address in order for them to overcome whatever the failure they had. And I believe they should be proud about all the failure they have overcome, because that's what going to create this kind of the characteristics that you need to build in order for you to perform, regardless of whatever the challenges you have been facing on the day-to-day tasks or whatever the future you needed. So I believe, yes, everybody has to celebrate their failure. So yeah, you know what, I thought I'm good enough, and this is really embarrassing. It is what it might feel like, but at the same time, that's what going to give us the true allow us to see the true self of ourselves, rather than we constantly. But at the same time, I want you to believe yourself, your thoughts, your idea. It's not something I'm telling you, you know, you have to questioning about your existence or your thoughts, your ideas. Not like that. You just have to find the right people. You just have to find the right directions, right connections, right? Because that's what helped me overcome. And so imagine, so I even discussed my failure with one of my partner, and he's like, what he said, hey, you are a good person, you are a good guy, you can overcome this, and don't mention about this failure. You're not fail, you just you make a mistakes, it's all right, learn from there and make move. Yeah, so it is what it is. So but the you know, in terms of in return, what I'm saying is, it could be this nature, it could be the God, it could be something, the magic happening around us. So it could be the karma. So whatever it is, what I believe is, whatever happened, there is a reason, strong reason attached to that, and you might not understand that particular day, but over long period, you can clearly see and understand that people need some time, and this nature that knows about that, and that will allow you to create that the exact the characteristics that you needed. Because once you have that, regardless of these experiences or in whatever you believe, however, whatever the stages you are, because we all have to start somewhere, right? So wherever you are, you good enough, you can go out, make things happen. If you understand this process, it's all require a trusting process that everybody wants to onboard with you. And it could be your it could be your personal development, or it could be your health. That's what I'm trying to understand, help you understand, because it has to be like a holistic approach, where you cannot expect like, okay, if I have loved one, I'm gonna succeed. If I have healthy body, I'm gonna have achieve this, or if I'm good at handling people, or meeting people, or explaining my idea. It's not one thing, it has to be the whole thing. That's why I ask you guys to write it down, discover yourself, discover your true self, and that will bring you to this kind of approach where you trust your process and others can seize your process, and it becomes the systematic approach where everybody wants you rather than you wants everybody to trust you. Got it? So this is what I believe, my 2 cents here today. So I will make sure keep this video coming in and help everybody understand that whatever the circumstances we going through, whatever the failure, whatever it is, so everything has its reason. The God or this nature or this allow us to connect with the right person. So that's what it create. Yes, exactly. So it will recreate ourselves. It's recreate this structure that we needed. It could be the foundations, so whatever, but it allow everybody to seize us, that our true potentials, and from there everybody will onboard and they guide us. All right, take care and talk to you soon.